Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video for Season 8. We're going to do our Q&A video, and we're also going to discuss Madison and how her breathing problems must continue until Season 8.
Your parents, they could still be out there.
Our parents abandoned us! Nowhere to go, Morgan. Why are you really here?
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Fear the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly Q&A video for the Walking Dead universe, in particular for Fear the Walking Dead after the Season 8 premiere. You guys had an incredible amount of comments, so much so that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to include everybody's comments in this video. You guys, I think, literally dropped like 20 Q&A comments in the last video, let alone, not to mention the other videos that I have as well too. So, I'm gonna do as many Q&A comments as I can in this video, and if I have time this week before episode 2 comes out, I'll probably do a second part to this, and we'll do another Q&A probably on like Wednesday, you know what I mean? And then we'll do the review on Thursday, because there are so many Q&A comments you guys left for that episode. It's unbelievable. So we're gonna go ahead and do probably a part 2 coming up this week. So if your question is not answered in this video, there's a very, very high chance it's in the next one, and expect it's there. But anyway, let's get into this video. Now, I did want to get into a discussion topic before we get into the Q&A questions, which is, of course, I want to talk about Madison. Obviously, after the premiere, we've seen her now. After the time skip, we've seen her character for a while. I was kind of holding back on this until I saw the Season 8 premiere to get to see how the time skip would kind of go for her. But I feel like it's a good time to address this, which is that in 7/16, when she returned, she did have that puffer to help her breathe, obviously. I was kind of annoyed with it when I saw it in Season 7, but I was like, okay, they're going to do a time skip in Season 8, so maybe they'll get rid of that, and maybe we don't have to worry about that. But no, in Season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead, she is still having those breathing problems, which, now I have to address it. I understand that realistically she would have those breathing problems. I understand that in a realistic situation, Madison would have to, you know, be on those puffers or whatever. But here's the thing. For entertainment purposes, for entertainment for us as viewers, I think watching Madison puffing on those things every 2 seconds is going to be really annoying. And to be honest, I'm not sure why they had that drag out all the way to, you know, the time skip. I really don't. In Season 7, I understand, because it wasn't all that much long after the stadium fire, but, you know, 7-8 years in the future now after the stadium fire, and we're still doing this, like, you know, every 2 seconds with Madison. It just, yeah, it's not something that's going to make it easy. It's not going to be easy to watch. It's going to be very aggravating to watch, I have a feeling, because, you know, Madison just, it's not something that suits her character, you know what I mean? It doesn't fit the vibe of the character. It doesn't fit what the character is like, to see her puffing on this thing every 2 seconds. I get that it's realistic, but for entertainment purposes, I think it's a little bit on the annoying side, to be honest. And I was waiting until the time skip to actually address it, but I feel like now it does need to be addressed. So that's just that. Now, let's get into a few Q&A comments for today, starting off with Gwilson, who says, Dan, I really do wonder, now that Madison has addressed Victor in the premiere, Morgan and Madison, where do you think Victor lies this season? And what do you think is going to happen with him, since he has not been in any of the promotional material? And do you think that we will see any of the other characters on the rafts, like Sarah, Rabbi Jacobs, Wendell, or do you think this is their perfect opportunity to get rid of the characters that they don't want to use anymore? So very, very good question, right? Now with Victor, I've kind of acknowledged this one before. I think he's going to be in the second half of the season. I think Victor will show up by the second half, because I believe that Lenny James is going to leave in the first half of Season 8, and they're going to make it easy on themselves, and they're going to, you know, make it to where Victor and Morgan don't interact at all, so that there's no conflict, you know what I mean? So Morgan will leave by 8:06, Victor will come in the final few episodes in the second half of the season, and that'll just be that. They're just going to cop out. They're going to cheap out, and Morgan and Victor will never interact again. Mark my words, that's what's going to happen. Now, do I think this is their opportunity to get rid of some other characters? I do, because there's actually been a few Fear the Walking Dead accounts that I follow that actually pointed this out on Instagram, which is that Mo Collins' name has been removed from the credits. Alexa's name, the actress for Charlie, has also been removed from the credits. Same thing for the actor for Rabbi Jacobs. So, unless they guest star this season, which is always possible, yeah, they may just have Sarah and Wendell and some of the others just disappear disappear off the face of the earth. Because I noticed that the Rafts approach, they seem to try to use that approach to try to take out the mediocre characters, you know what I mean? And I know that some people say, oh, well, I like Sarah, and some people say, oh, well, I actually like Charlie, you know? But let's be honest here. A lot of the fan base did not enjoy Charlie, and for obvious reasons. A lot of the fan base did not enjoy Sarah at all, you know? I think Wendell did have a few fans, but nothing too major, but you get my point. A lot of the mediocre Fear the Walking Dead characters, I noticed, they're trying to shove out of the story. Which I couldn't be more grateful for. In particular, Sarah. As you guys know, I think Sarah is an annoying character. I think the actress overacts completely with that character. And again, it's nothing against Mo Collins. I have nothing against her. It's just the way she executed the character was really, really bad. And yeah, I think that in terms of, Sarah in particular, I'm glad. I'm honestly glad she's off the name chart for Fear. I hope that she's gone for good. I really do. And I hope that we can kind of move on from those characters. I hope that they use the Rafts approach to disappear any characters that are not good or worth keeping. You know what I mean? But as for Victor, no. Victor, I think, will be back. Hell, we've seen photos of him and Kim Dickens on set. We know that he's back. We just, I think we're going to have to wait a little while. That's where I sit on that. Next one comes from Last, who says, Dan, do you think that the reason why Padre is coming after Morgan in 804 in King County is because Padre is actually located in Georgia? Also, I disagree. I think that Morgan going to Fear was a good idea, Dan, because if he stayed on the main Walking Dead, he would have died in Season 8. Very, very good point. Although, here's the thing. Don't kill him off, and then you can keep him on the main show. You know what I mean? It's like, why did they have to be so shitty? Why did they have to tell Lenny James, you are either going to die in Season 8 of Walking Dead, or you're going to go to Fear the Walking Dead? How about just keep him alive? How about that? That would be so much of an easier approach. But yes, I am grateful that Morgan was in Fear the Walking Dead for as long as he is, even though now he's capturing kids and he's calling himself Nightingale, so I don't know how much better you could make that, but definitely, I'm glad Lenny James went somewhere, although unfortunately it feels like Fear the Walking Dead kind of scared him off after a few years, because here he is now retiring from the Morgan character. Lenny James is done, he doesn't want anything to do with them, and, I honestly understand. Fear the Walking Dead is not a good show. As far as, people may say, like, oh, Fear the Walking Dead is a good show. I don't think it is, to be honest. And the main reason I say that is because the actress for Alicia wanted off. Lenny James wanted off. Maggie Grace wanted off. Garrett Dillahunt wanted off. The actor for Nick wanted off. There are consistent leads of this show wanting off the show. It's insane. To me, it objectively shows you that Fear the Walking Dead is not a good show. How many times does an actor leave in one show? You know what I mean? And how many times do they kill characters off and resurrect them in the same show? It's literally happened now with Madison. And I guarantee you they're probably going to do more. So it's one of those things where it's like Fear the Walking Dead, it definitely, it's not objectively a good show. I think Lenny James going to Fear was definitely a good thing to save his character for a few years. He did have his good moments in 6A in particular. I think Morgan was really good. But yeah, it sucks that they couldn't keep Morgan on the main show. I'm going to continue to say it. I feel like they should have kept him on the main show and just kind of rolled with it, to be honest. I think that would have been a lot better. And in terms of Padre being around Georgia, I think they definitely could be, because why would they venture out so far to King County to catch up to Morgan and Mo and Grace and all that? Yeah, I think they're definitely within that area for sure. Next one comes from Caden, who says that, Dan, what do you think June's role is going to be in episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead coming up this week? Do you think that June, along with Dwight and Sherry, are also runaway collectors for Padre? Absolutely, I think so. I think basically anybody from our main crew are collectors for Padre, and they're going to be trying to get away. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. I think Dwight and Sherry are going to get their kid back in some way, shape, or form. And I think that in that instance, they're going to turn on Padre, and they're going to get out of there. And it's going to be a pretty exciting episode. I hear early reviewers say that episode 2 is even better than the premiere. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very eventful episode with Dwight and Sherry, with June and stuff like that. But yes, I definitely think that they are, Padre collectors. I think that all of our characters at this point are, for sure. And I think we're going to see that a little bit more in depth next episode. Next one comes from Dominic, who says that, Dan, do you think that Madison and Morgan, when they were pointing their guns in the opening scene of episode 1 at the glass, do you think we're actually going to see the person that's on the microphone in a scene at some point? Do you think we're going to meet the person that's speaking? Absolutely we are. That's a demand for me. If we don't see that, I don't know what the hell Fear the Walking Dead is smoking at that point. But yes, Fear the Walking Dead definitely better show who the hell has been talking to them. You know, we've heard them now in 716, and we've heard them now again in 801. We have to see who this person is. And again, according to what, you know, I hear people say, is that it sounds like this guy refers to himself as the Padre, as the father, as the savior to these kids. So he's a sick motherfucker, you know what I mean? So whoever this is, he is full of himself. He thinks he's the goddess, you know what I mean? And I think the guy behind the speaker is the leader. I definitely think he's the man in charge. But, you know, when do we meet him? I think it'll be soon, you know, probably like episode 5, episode 6, you know what I mean? Around the time that we get to the mid-season, we'll start really, you know, getting him in the forefront, right? And then in the final half, he'll be the final villain of the series, for sure. And I honestly wouldn't even be surprised. I've heard some people kind of say this too. If Padre does have some sort of connection to the CRM, like not them being CRM exactly, but being like potentially a Jadis type of situation where they make deals with CRM on the side to help grow their community. I could definitely see that, you know, like they are like Jadis and the Junkyard. Like they have their own community, but they have ties to CRM that helps them out from time to time. I could see Padre having something to do with that, especially with them like taking Madison's blood and stuff like that. Yeah, I could definitely see some sort of situation like that. But as for Mr. Speaker guy, yeah, we'll meet him very soon, I think. Next one comes from Marilyn, who says that, Dan, do you think based off of the season 8 premiere, based off of the way that they kind of talk in the episode, that the leader calls themselves the Padre? They call themselves like the father, like the Padre, right? Instead of just the community being called Padre. What do you think about this? Yes, I do. Because I do know what you're talking about. There are a few pieces of dialogue in that episode where they say like, like they refer to Padre as he said, he told me, you know, and they don't specify the person's name. They just say that Padre is the he that they mention, you know, because you feel like if they did do that, they would have given, you know, the name away in that first episode, you know, like when they first talk about Negan in the main Walking Dead, like Negan told me to say this and Negan told me to do this, you know, that's not what they're doing with Padre. They're like, Padre, he told me this, he told me that. So he must call himself the Padre. That's just the way it goes. He must call himself the Padre. He must be full of himself for sure. I just hope Fear the Walking Dead can give us a good villain. You know what I mean? Give us a good villain. Give us a good final threat. That's all I'm asking. But yes, I think that he refers to himself as the Padre for sure. Absolutely. And the final one for today comes from Dawn, who says, do you think that if Morgan's final episode in Fear the Walking Dead is episode 6, do you think the ratings will drop for the final half of the show? No, I do not, Dawn. And you know what the really sad part of this whole thing is? I can't delve into why I say no. I can't delve into that. But let's just say there are major leaks for the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 8. And those who know, I think you probably know. It's kind of hard to miss it. But I think they're going to use another certain character to make sure people don't go away. And I'm for it. It just, I think it's a really ridiculous concept. But yeah, I think 8B will be fine. I think that they're going to show a certain something in the 8B trailer that'll make people watch the final half. That's all I'll say about it. I think Lenny James will leave in episode 6, but I think they're going to shove a certain something in our face in the final 6 episodes to make people watch. I definitely think so. So anyway, those are the comments for today. Of course, we will do a part 2 probably on Wednesday to kind of wrap this whole thing up and get all the other questions that we didn't manage to get to for today. Again, just be patient, guys. We're going to get to all your questions. But thank you all so much for everybody that's asked the questions. You guys have overwhelmed me with questions. You guys are absolutely crushing it with these Fear the Walking Dead comments and just the Walking Dead content in general. A lot of great questions, a lot of great comments, and of course, we will continue to do them. Again, probably this Wednesday, we'll cap these off before episode 2 releases. Unless they release episode 2 early on Prime Video and they leak it early like they did last week, then we'll have to, you know, try to fix up our schedule a little bit. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Fear the Walking Dead airs properly this week on Thursday. But I guess time will tell, right? So if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos for Fear the Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Fear the Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.